Welcome to two examples on how to solve a proportion. A proportion is formed when we set two rates or ratios equal to each other. And there are several methods to solve a proportion, but for these two examples, we'll be using the method of clearing fractions, which is a common method for solving equations that contain fractions. So to solve a proportion by clearing fractions, step 1, we're going to multiply both sides of the equation by the LCD, which is the least common denominator. If this is difficult to find, though, we can always multiply by any common denominator. And then step 2, we'll solve the resulting equation. So looking at our first proportion, notice how we have a denominator of 9 and a denominator of 15. The least common denominator is going to be the least common multiple of 9 and 15, which is 45, because 45 is the smallest number that's divisible by 9 and 15. So we're going to multiply both sides of the equation by 45. So we have x over 9 equals, notice on the right here we have 5/15, which we could simplify to 1/3, but let's go ahead and leave it in this form. So we have 5/15 here, and now we're going to multiply both sides of the equation by 45. Because we have a fraction here, we'll write 45 as 45 over 1, and the same on the right. Now we'll simplify and then find these products, which should clear the fractions. Now before multiplying, let's simplify. Notice 9 and 45 share a common factor of 9. There's 1 9 and 9, and 5 9s and 45. So notice on the left side of the equation, our denominator is now 1 times 1 or 1, and therefore this product is just 5x. So we have 5x equals, on the right, simplifying, notice how 45 and 15 share a common factor of 15. There's 1 15 and 15 and 3 15s and 45. Again, we have a denominator of 1, and therefore this product is just 3 times 5 or 15. Now to solve for x, we divide both sides by 5. So the left side simplifies to 1x or just x equals 15 divided by 5 equals 3. X equals 3 is the solution to our proportion, which means that 3/9 equals 5/15, or as a ratio, we read this as 3 is to 9, as 5 is to 15. Now I do want to show this one more way. Let's say we did recognize that we could simplify 5/15 to 1/3, or 5 to 15 as 1 to 3. If we did this, notice how the division proportion would be x over 9 equals 1 over 3. Notice in this form, the least common multiple of 3 and 9 would be 9, and therefore the least common denominator is 9. So we could solve this equivalent proportion by multiplying both sides of the equation by 9. And let's go ahead and show this. We'd multiply the left side by 9, or 9 over 1, and the same on the right. Again, simplifying, 9 over 9 simplifies to 1 over 1, so we just have x. And on the right side, 9 and 3 share a common factor of 3. There's 1 3 and 3, 3 3s and 9. And we quickly get the same result of x equals 3. Now let's take a look at our second example. We have 4/16 equals x over 20. Once again, notice how we could simplify 4/16 to 1/4. Let's just say we didn't notice this. We want to multiply both sides of the equation by the least common multiple of 16 and 20, which would be 80. Again, because 80 is the smallest number that's divisible by 16 and 20. After we solve this by multiplying both sides of the equation by 80, I'll show another method to solve this if we're not able to find the least common denominator. But if we recognize the least common denominator would be 80, we'd multiply both sides by 80. So we'd have 4/16 equals x over 20. Now multiply both sides by 80, or 80 over 1. Simplifying, we have a common factor of 16 between 16 and 80. There's 1 16 and 16, and 5 16s and 80. Notice how this product would be 20 over 1, or just 20, equals, on the right side we have a common factor of 20. There's 1 20 and 20, and 4 20s and 80. So the product here would be 4 times x, or 4x, dividing both sides by 4. Notice how we have x equals 20 divided by 4, which is equal to 5. Now again, for this proportion, let's assume we had a hard time determining the least common denominator. Let's solve this again by just multiplying by a common denominator. One way to find a common denominator would be to just multiply the denominators together. 16 times 20 is equal to 320, so we could solve this proportion by multiplying both sides of the equation by 320. Let's go ahead and show this. We'd have 4/16 equals, again, x over 20. So again, a common denominator would be 16 times 20, which equals 320. But because we know we're going to simplify before multiplying, let's write this as 16 times 20 over 1. Again, this is the same thing as multiplying by 320, and we'll do the same on the right. We have 16 times 20 over 1. Notice how if we leave this as a product, it makes it very easy to simplify. Here we have 16 divided by 16, which simplifies to 1 over 1. So on the left side now we have 20 times 4, which equals 80. On the right side, notice how 20 over 20 would simplify to 1. So we just have 16 times x, which equals 16x. Dividing both sides by 16, we get the same result of x equals 5. So there's less simplifying if we multiply both sides of the equation by the least common denominator, but any common denominator does work, and an easy way to find a common denominator is just to find the product of the two denominators. I hope you found this helpful.